Have you ever watered a dead plant, hoping that if you just loved it enough, it would bloom again? Maybe you moved it to the window, gave it the best sunlight, measured out just the right amount of water. You whispered encouragement, you waited, but every day it stayed the same. Leaves limp, petals gone, soil dry no matter how much you tried. You held on to hope, because hope is what you do best. But some things, no matter our effort, are gone. And that's how it feels. Holding on to someone, something, some dream or memory that isn't growing with you anymore. We're taught that love conquers all. That effort, patience, and kindness will heal what's broken. We believe that if we just hold on tighter, maybe things will go back to the way they were. Maybe the pain will soften. Maybe the laughter will return. Maybe we'll feel at home again, in a place or with a person we once loved so dearly. But sometimes, peace isn't found in fixing things. Sometimes, peace is found in the courage to let go. It's not easy. We often stay in the places, the relationships, the jobs, even the mindsets that slowly drain our peace. Not because they deserve us, not because they bring us joy, but because we've convinced ourselves we don't deserve better. We tie our worth to the comfort of familiarity, to memories that have faded, to promises made in another time. We hold on to people who stopped showing up for us long ago, to words that once made us feel safe, to futures we painted in our minds but never truly lived. Think about it. How many times have you silenced your own needs to keep the peace? How many times have you dimmed your light so someone else wouldn't feel threatened? How many times have you convinced yourself that love means sacrifice, even when you're the only one giving? We think letting go is the same as giving up. We think it's weakness. We think it means we have failed. But let me tell you a story. There was once a woman named Eliana. She lived in a house with no light. Years ago, the bulbs had burnt out, one by one. The curtains stayed shut. The walls cracked quietly over time, almost in silence, like a secret only she knew. But she stayed. She stayed because it was the first home she ever decorated with love. She painted its walls with dreams. She placed hope in every room. She told herself, if I try harder, if I scrub the floors, if I patch the cracks, maybe the light will come back. But it never did. She learned to navigate in the dark. She memorized the steps, the feel of the furniture, the way the air changed when a storm was coming. She convinced herself this was enough, that it was safer to stay in the dark she knew than to risk the unknown outside. And then one day, a storm came. The ceiling caved in, the walls trembled, and the house, her sanctuary, her prison, could no longer hold her. She stepped out, not into a mansion, not into perfection, but into peace. For the first time, she could breathe. She felt the sun on her face, the wind in her hair, and she whispered to herself, I didn't know it could feel this good. To walk away. Letting go isn't failure, it isn't weakness. Letting go is the highest form of self-respect. It's the moment you say, I matter too. It's the moment you realize that clinging to what's hurting you is not loyalty. It's neglect. Neglect of your own heart, your own soul, your own peace. We're so afraid of being seen as selfish that we forget. Self-love is not selfishness. It's survival. You are not made to carry everything. You're not a rehab center for broken people who refuse to heal. You're not the dumping ground for someone's emotional neglect. Setting boundaries is not cruelty. It's a declaration of self-worth. If someone only wants you when it's convenient, if they guilt-trip you for having standards, If you always feel drained after spending time with them, that's not love. That's emotional theft. And you deserve peace. Why is it so hard to let go? Sometimes it's not because it's healthy or right or even what we truly want. Sometimes we hold on because we're afraid of what comes next. Afraid of the silence that follows. We fear the empty space, the loneliness, the unknown. We ask ourselves, what if I never find better? What if I'm making a mistake? But you know what's worse than letting go? Staying stuck in something that's slowly killing your spirit. You weren't born to beg for love. You weren't created to constantly explain your value. If someone can't see your light, it's not your job to convince them. Sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is to whisper, I choose me. Sometimes, the greatest act of love is walking away from what makes you feel small. Healing begins when you stop watering what's already gone. When you stop revisiting old conversations, hoping for new answers. When you finally realize you deserve peace, even if it means letting go. And when you do, you won't fall apart. You'll fall into alignment, into freedom, into a version of yourself you've longed to meet. You might feel lost at first. You might mourn what you're leaving behind. That's okay. Grief is the price we pay for love. But with time, the ache will soften. The silence will become sanctuary. The emptiness will become room to grow. And you'll look back and realize letting go wasn't the end. It was the beginning of coming home to yourself. Imagine what your life could be if you stopped holding on to what hurts. Imagine waking up and not feeling dread, not wondering when the next disappointment will come. Imagine peace as your baseline, not your exception. Imagine friendships that nurture, relationships that uplift, work that fulfills. Imagine loving yourself enough to say, no more. When your soul is tired, imagine choosing rest over resentment, hope over habit, freedom over familiarity. You deserve that. Not because you're perfect, not because you've earned it, but because you're human, because your heart beats, because you try, because you care, because peace is not a prize for the worthy, it's a birthright. So if you're holding on to someone who doesn't see you, let go. If you're stuck in a place that no longer feels like home, let go. If you're clinging to an idea of yourself that keeps you small, let go. Letting go is not erasing the past. It's honoring it, thanking it for the lessons, the growth, the love, and then choosing yourself again and again. It's okay to miss what you walked away from. It's okay to wish things could have been different. But don't let nostalgia trick you into thinking you belong somewhere you've outgrown. Don't let loneliness convince you to settle for less than you deserve. Don't let fear keep you in the dark when there's a world waiting for you in the light. You are allowed to protect your peace. You are allowed to choose joy. You are allowed to walk away from what hurts, even if it once made you happy. You are allowed to let go of people who don't see your value, of places that drain your spirit, of patterns that no longer serve you. And when you do, you'll find that peace isn't a destination. It's a way of being. It's waking up and feeling lightness in your chest. It's laughter that rings true. It's rest that heals. It's love that feels safe. It's boundaries that honor your worth. It's saying no without guilt, and yes, without fear. You deserve peace, even if it means letting go. So, if you're standing at the edge, wondering if it's time, let this be your sign. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to know what tomorrow looks like, and you just have to trust that you are worthy of more than pain. You just have to believe that letting go is not the same as giving up. Sometimes it's the bravest thing you'll ever do. Breathe. Let your shoulders fall. Feel the weight you've been carrying and imagine what it would be like to set it down. Imagine the freedom of not having to fix, to save, to prove. Imagine the relief of not having to earn someone's love or stay somewhere just because you once called it home. You are not alone. So many have walked this path before you, have chosen peace over pain, healing over history, and they are cheering you on, even now. You are stronger than you think, kinder than you know, braver than you believe. Give yourself permission to walk away from what makes you doubt your worth. Protect your peace like it's sacred, because it is. And always remember, letting go isn't the end. It's the beginning of coming home to yourself. So let go. Not because you have to, but because you can. Because you deserve to heal. Because you deserve peace. And because sometimes the greatest gift you can give yourself is the freedom to begin again. Today, choose you. Choose the light. Choose the possibility of something new. And when you do, you'll discover that peace isn't something you find. It's something you create when you decide you deserve it.